for the record, look, we got matching haircuts as well. Me and Lloyd are twins now. Love it. Twin.
That's it.
He doesn't know what to say.
Whose is better? Who did it better? What do you reckon?
What, the Barnet?
Yeah.
So we can't go too deep into this, boys.
People
are watching.
Gonna have to go deep into.
Can we vote?
People are watching one of us.
Gino's hair or Lloyd's?
Gino's or Lloyd's. I'm gonna go Gino's. Gonna have to.
Fuming.
No
Absolutely
comment.
fuming.
Head's gone.
Hello.
Look into my eyes.
Anything you need, come to us.
That Tilal Ghaf podcast. Welcome back, boys.
Yeah,
Back.
been a while.
It's been 6 months. It's been 500 takes now. Made that joke 4 times today.
6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. What did I say?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't been 6 months. It's been 6 weeks. I'm not restarting it anyway, so let's go. But no, there's a lot to cover today, isn't there? So I want to talk a little bit about commercial retail hub in Tilal Ghaf. Some handovers, some new show villas come in, a little bit about the handed over communities as well, what's in there and what it's like. And I know you put out something on your Instagram earlier on in the week for some questions.
Yeah,
response from that.
Yeah, it was
really
a good
good
response.
Yeah,
Good feedback.
we'll touch on that as well. So commercial, when I say commercial, I mean retail, but retail hub in Tilal at the moment has just opened. You've got a handful of shops in there. You've got...
So it's just along Hester Street. I don't know if you've driven along there yourself, but it's quite big. You're going to have a massive Carrefour in there, which I believe is opening next week. So it's positive news for sort of the Elan tenants and end users. But what is open at the moment, there is an Asda pharmacy, there's a barber shop, there's also going to be a Starbucks, which is obviously ideal for anyone that's in the community.
Yeah. And I feel like when you do get a shop open up, I live in Victory Heights, there was a shop recently opened up, it makes it a community you don't ever leave then. It really, even though there's only sort of 3 phases handed over so far, it makes such a difference to someone that lives in the community.
Especially with the school as well, I think that's such a big thing.
Definitely. Got the nursery just being built now as well in Elan 1. So like you say, it's literally all just going to be within the community. People aren't going to have to leave to go and get their groceries. They can leave the kids at the nursery. You've got the lagoon there. You've got everything you need realistically. I know what.
See, he mentioned the lagoon. He made us cut 3 times. Because we talked about the lagoon. But it's actually quite nice. We said earlier, comparable is, or you're getting a lot of people comparing Dubai Hills to Tilal Ghaf, right? Obviously, Dubai Hills, I would say 70% handed over, or 60% handed over now. It could be an outrageous lie.
Probably a lot more, I would say.
I mean, a lot of it is handed over. My point is, it's a proper community now. And what's quite nice to see, I don't specialise in the area. I've been there a handful of times, and it's always positive. I've got friends that live there, that own there, you know, and it's really nice to see it evolving in a really nice way. People are settling there. You've got Elan 1, 2, and 3. Majority of 3.
Yeah, it's probably about the whole of Elan. You're probably looking at 80 to 90% of it just handed over now.
Quality.
And there's a lot of tenants and end users that are...
There's a lot of buzz to it when you're in the area?
There is, yeah. It does seem quite a bit, especially in phase 1 and phase 2. Obviously, phase 3 not so much because it's in the process. But yeah, there is a buzz. You know, you're seeing people around the pool and park. But yeah, it's positive, definitely.
I feel like it's a really good thing for the Dubai market as a whole. Because they're pretty much setting an example of the level all the others need to be at. Because it's the first one launching within that area for townhouses and villas. You know, it is a very high standard. So all these other communities that are coming up, they're going to have to compete with that. So it's
a quality product, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence now. A lot of confidence.
Exactly.
Before there was, when we first started in the area, there was 50-50. And then before Elan handed over, there's probably still 20-30% people saying, what's the quality going to be like? But now...
I'm smiling because you love percentages. We had this conversation. He does love percentages.
And it's always to the point.
I know,
Every single time.
But it's exciting for sort of the Harmony, the Alea, for future communities as well, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And for an investor, you know, someone who is holding one of those units, it gives you confidence, or gives them confidence that it is going to go up. We've seen the premiums now on Elan are fantastic. Fantastic returns. Harmony, we're seeing it as well. I think it's still got a little bit more to go on handover. And then as we get bigger, the premiums are still smaller right now, right? So we're going to see there is still good investments.
Yeah, and one thing to touch on as well, we were speaking about it the other day, with Harmony, we see this as a positive. The prices have stabilised a bit. But there wasn't seeing any sign of stabilising before. There was just every single week up, literally all the time.
From when, like July last year, August,
Yeah.
roughly.
It's over a year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Every week it's just been going up and up
And don't get me wrong, they're still going up, and rightly as you said before handover, everyone's expecting to see an increase. But now it's healthy. It's healthy for the community that we've seen that stabilisation, and it's not just going unrealistic prices.
You're still getting owners who are believing it's going in that direction. You know,
you're always going there, right?
You get a lot of agents posting things online and in the group chats asking for crazy amounts, which kind of still messes up the market a little bit. But people who are realistic and know what's transacting, like you say, it is becoming very stable.
It goes back to with the seller working with the agents that they get value from as well, right?
Agreed.
So working with the likes of yourselves, understand the market, understand your area. You know, you're not just trying to make a quick pound note.
No,
it's giving proper value and a service. I was going to say something really important, and it's gone from my head. I can't remember.
It's the worst. That.
Oh, it's the worst thing in the whole world. I know exactly what I was going to say. I saw a picture of a Harmony show villa yesterday. Unbelievable.
It does,
I've
really nice.
never seen a developer obviously they haven't handed over yet, but I would imagine they're not going to give a show villa and give it something different. So,
exactly.
You know, if it comes out like that, unbelievable.
It goes back to the quality, what Jackson and
exactly. It looks just as good as the brochures as
it
well.
Does.
It's what I mean. You
normally see the CGIs and you see the real thing and you think, not sure about that.
Yeah.
In this case, it is definitely they're delivering what they promised.
Yeah, just on the show villas as well, so I imagine this is probably public knowledge at the minute now, but the twin villa show villa should be open at the end of this month, which is obviously very good for everyone to see. And also the Harmony 5-bed large, which you spoke about, closed because of construction of Harmony, but then that will be open soon as well.
Just depends. I think you're going to have to be a resident, right, to be able to get access. I don't think people who are interested in the community, it's not going to be easy for them to just pop by and visit.
You're going to get an influx of people.
You can't just have people who are coming by.
But what we can do, sorry to jump in, is we can get some photos, and then anyone that is interested to see it, we can then maybe brand them and send them out.
Yeah, it's better than the CGI as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big difference. I know you say they're very similar, but seeing the actual product is completely different.
It blew my mind. Someone showed me it yesterday, and I was like, I've never seen a developer hand over that high quality. So I say it's not handed over yet, but it is really, really nice. In terms of transactions, what are we working on at the moment?
I mean, myself, I've obviously been working more on LA Gardens over the last few months. I think the LA Gardens now, obviously because it was a later release date, LA Gardens wasn't really seeing that many transactions because of the fact that the OPs were slightly higher, because obviously everyone realised the quality and interest in them. But now, because LA Gardens was bought in different phases, some people might have bought a Haven for 8.4. So they might be the people selling now and transacting, whereas you've got some people that paid 9 million or just above. But it's a lot more people are now realising that the higher quality stuff are still very, very well priced.
What's the built up roughly? So
it depends. There's Haven, Retreat and Reserve. For the Haven, you're looking at around about 6,000 square foot, depending on what LA it's in, and then the Retreats are 8,149. What's the comparison to that in Dubai Hills?
Well, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
You're looking at Golf Place.
Golf Place,
right? The same, Golf Places start, if they're ready now, at 14, right?
Yeah.
They're starting at 14.
It shows you the value, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You keep saying it, but it's literally there in front of you.
Yeah, and the products, it is pretty much guaranteed to be more superior, the finishing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say guaranteed. Great investment.
Great investment.
Yeah.
Lagoon community.
But exactly. And I think it will only get better as well, right? As each phase hands over, it will build more hype around it, and it will only get better.
For sure.
I'm itching to know the answers to your question. Go on. What did you post out on Instagram?
Wow, so let's you're going to tag the Instagram as well.
I am going to tag the Instagram to see how he got his new watch in there as well.
I knew that was coming out as well.
And for the record, look, we got matching haircuts as well. I mean, look at our twins now. Twin.
That's it.
He doesn't know what to say.
Whose is better? Who did it better? What do you reckon?
What, the Barnet?
Yeah.
So we can't go too deep into this, boys.
People
are watching.
Gonna have to go deep into.
Can we vote?
People who are watching want to vote.
Please? Gino's hair or Lloyd's?
Gino's or Lloyd's. I'm gonna go Gino's. Gonna have to.
Fuming.
No
Absolutely
comment.
fuming.
Head's gone.
Go on.
Right,
the
Colin,
questions you
Yeah,
got.
so essentially I put out on my story any questions that you might have for the feedback, and we did get quite a good response rate from it. A few of the bits that we did touch on already in the podcast, so don't really need to go over them again. But one of the questions was about which one are we looking at here? About how are people sort of perceiving the project in terms of the finish and the size. And I think they're referring to Elan, really. And I think we've all been in an Elan now. Size-wise, it is small, don't get me wrong. I think, you know, these newer builds, if you look at Elan, even Maple, Branches 3, these townhouses, you are compromising on the size, but you are getting a more contemporary and modern...
To a certain extent, right? To a certain
I was just about jumping there. Although square footage is smaller, I feel like what the developers done recently over the last few handovers is they put very clever floor plans in place.
The layouts,
So although you compare it to maybe a townhouse in Jumeirah Golf Estates or an older community, it might be smaller on paper. The layout is better and it will flow nicer as well, right? So you don't have a huge closed off kitchen that takes up a lot of space. You've got an open plan kitchen that rolls into your living room.
Yeah, they've used the space well.
I feel like, although it is smaller, it's a very nice layout. It's a comfortable layout.
That's it. Yeah,
it's kind of like what, like in terms of how people have perceived it. Finishing, everyone's very happy with the finishing, right? And
I think as well with the market in Dubai at the moment, obviously the market itself is high, and I think a lot of people, whether it's rent, whether it's buying, whatever it is, people are coming from maybe bigger properties, and they're coming to view an Elan and think, okay, well it is a little bit more smaller than I expected.
Exactly,
So it is two ways of looking at it. But I think, like you say, the layout for the Elans is good.
Yeah, I agree. And the quality, like you say, if you're going to go into another community, you've got to then look at, if you're going to rent, am I going to wrap the kitchen? Is there something I need to change? Is it? Whereas this, it's turnkey.
No.
Easy.
Yep. And the sub community of Elan, it's nice to drive around, isn't it?
It is.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice to drive
through.
Really nice.
It's one of the greenest communities that I've been in already. Normally, it takes a while for communities to develop, and for a while, it feels a bit industrial.
I think that's one thing Majid Al-Futtaim tried to do, though, isn't it? Making it a green community.
Green and blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel like they've got a point to prove, right? It's their first, I know we've said it loads of times, it's their first residential community in Dubai. So they are going to come.
Have you been into Elan yet?
No.
You should drive through, just in the entrance. You drive through, they've got this huge water feature. Have they got the water in it yet or not?
Not yet.
They've built it, so it's going to be like a huge kind of water fountain thing. And you drive through and there's just loads of greenery. It just feels really nice and peaceful. It's like you're driving away from Dubai. You have a nice feeling when you drive into that.
I genuinely think, I say this all the time as well, I might seem biased, but LA Gardens, Harmony, all of these communities are going to be like, they're going to shock people, I think. Pleasantly surprised for sure.
Well, Elan's proof, isn't it? Like, it's done that. It's the entry level of the community, but it's shown that it's still very luxury feel. And,
that's a big thing at the moment. Obviously, only Elan's ready. Why the market has really stabilised at the moment is because everyone's sitting waiting to see. Okay, let's see how Harmony hands over. Let's see how Alea hands over. Once they hand over, I think, and people see the product and the greenery in the community, I think everyone's going to go, wow. And I think there will be a boom, personally.
I agree. Demand is supply and demand.
Exactly.
What other questions, what other answers did you get, mate?
Someone asked in regards to sort of Tilal Al Ghaf versus Dubai Hills. I think you did touch on it, but like we say, it is a very comparable community. Prices for Dubai Hills is a lot higher, whether you look at Maple, whether you look at Sidra, but it's a very comparable community. So I think when people are looking at it like that, it's definitely, if you're looking at getting something similar but paying a little bit less, then Tilal Al Ghaf is a very good option, especially with the payment plans. They're very attractive. I think we've touched on it previously on another podcast, but having that 2-year post handover makes a massive difference. It does.
There's a lot of people, again, we've mentioned this on a previous podcast, but there's a lot of people that we speak to that live in Dubai Hills that have that confidence and faith in Tilal Al Ghaf.
You can see it coming, right? As it starts to hand over, you see the prices increasing. Although there was a huge hype around it, like you say, it's sort of leveled now. People go, right, you're getting value. It's higher than what it was, but you're still getting a lot of value for what you're getting. So I think there are good comparables, and you can see what scope you've got, especially if you're an investor. I'm buying at X, and this over the road is going at, a lot higher.
Very similar like demographic of people as well, who seem to live in Dubai Hills as well as Tilal. So like there's a big crossover in terms of sales. Most people who are interested in one are interested in the other.
Yeah.
People who live in Dubai Hills now inquire a lot on Tilal Al Ghaf because they're interested in the community. Yeah,
good.
Pretty much covered quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got any more?
I think we touched
a
on
lot of
I know, but to be fair, we've discussed most of it
Yeah.
in the
conversation.
So
I think it's going to be like a big end to the year now. There's a lot happening with Harmony.
Q4.
So I think
and next year as well. Yeah, it's going to be
definitely.
Big
It's going to be really busy. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I think on the next few podcasts.
When is your video out? Did I see you boys shooting a video down there? I see one of
we've
you
done the
walking
videos.
around.
very slow-mo walk.
Slow-mo.
These boys got
because they were saying, okay, slow the walk down, so you have to try.
So I thought it was actually moved into slow motion.
No, that's how he's actually.
Please, can we
walking.
add that video into?
Can we not?
Definitely get it in. But we're waiting for the website to be updated.
Okay.
The website looks good. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Let's put all the videos and photos, and then we can use the footage and stuff from there.
Yeah.
Back onto the podcast next month. 4 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, we'll get on a consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.